What are you doing to improve your English? English is something that you really have to take an active role to improve in. So today we're going to talk about 5 things that you can do to improve your English. Do you want to know those 5 things? If so, then let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is practice speaking for 5 to 10 minutes a day. So if you're going to get better at anything, you have to practice at it, and English is no different. So can you find 5 to 10 minutes out of your schedule where you can focus on just practicing English? I have a lot of students who come to my lessons once a week, and what I hear a lot is, I can't remember what I've learned. And I always ask them, how long are you studying outside of class? And most of the time what I get is, I usually don't study once I leave the lessons. And if you're really serious about improving your English, you're gonna have to take the active opportunity to do stuff when you leave the class and make English a part of your everyday activities. So think of something that you've gotten really good at. You probably practice it a lot. You probably make it a part of your everyday routine. And this should be the same if you want to improve your English. There are many things that you can do. For example, shadowing is a great way to improve your fluency as well as your overall language skills. You can try tongue twisters, which will really get your mouth focused on moving those muscles in the right way. You can also find an English learning video or a podcast and really practice putting into play what you're learning in those videos or that podcast. You really want to make English a part of your everyday life. And overall, I think it would become easier for you to think of English as something that you do with no thinking at all. I have a student who wasn't a very big studier. What she would often do is rent a movie, do those movies over and over, and practice phrases that she really liked, and then she would just go outside and try those phrases on real people. And if you met her now, you'd be amazed that she wasn't a native speaker, and she really didn't do a lot of studying at all. So you really have to focus on making English a part of your daily life if you really want to see those results. You can even try apps or reading out loud to yourself, anything at all that will just get you focused in the habit of making English a part of your daily routine. And 5 to 10 minutes would be great, but of course, the more that you can do, the better it will be for you. And this will lead us into the next thing that you should really be focused on, which is working on your listening skills. If you aren't able to understand the person that you're talking to, you can't have a good conversation. I always say, as long as you can understand what the person is saying and that person can understand you, that's when we have a conversation. So listening is going to be a big part of your overall English fluency. That is why it is so important to improve your English listening skills. So, how about start by watching a TV show or a movie in English? And this should be something that you really like. If you already know this TV show or movie in your native language, that would be a big help too. You can go back over scenes to see how much you understand. You can make notes of parts that you don't understand, and you can also go over any vocabulary or phrases that you're just unsure of. And I really want to focus on make sure it's something that you really have interest in, because you don't want to get bored going over and over on the same thing and really make it seem like you're studying so hard to get this down. And once you think you have everything down, move on to a different TV show, move on to a different movie, or move on to a different scene. And the key here is you want to be listening to as much natural sounding English as possible. There are so many accents, ways to use English, way people speak in English around the world, so you really want to train your ear into hearing as much natural sounding English from as many different people as possible. And you can even watch these YouTube videos over and over if you like to get that listening training down. Writing in English is another great way to improve your English fluency. You can write things in a journal, you can write things down that you weren't sure about throughout the day, and for this, you can use a regular pen and a paper, you can use your phone, take notes on your computer, any way that you can do to get things down in writing in English would be great here. But writing is a way that you can control what's happening. You can really take the time here to get your thoughts down in a clear and better way. So practice different phrases that you want to try out. With writing, you're not under any pressure to reply right away. You don't have to worry about being hurried. You can just focus on what happened, what is the situation, what do I want to talk about, and how do I want to talk about it. No one has to know what you're writing, so think of situations that you've been in. Was there a better way that you could have replied? Try writing it out now. And if you want to and you are able to, you could always have an English teacher or an English speaking friend check out what you wrote, give you some pointers. I had a student who would journal in between lessons, then we would go over these journals at the end of the lessons and make improvements. And over time, you could see the improvement in her writing, of course, but also you can see improvement in her speaking. And this was also a way to learn new vocabulary by replacing some of the words or phrases that she used over and over with different words that she can use for different situations. So practice getting a hold of your thoughts by writing them down. And you can do so in a low stakes situation. You don't have to worry about, what should I say right here, and hurry up and respond to something that you're not sure about. So if you have a chance, practice writing, getting your thoughts down. Try it out if you have a chance. So the next thing we're going to talk about today is repetition, which is a very good way to improve your English. Whatever you do well in life, you're probably not going to master it after the first time. So go back over it, review it, and make sure that you have it locked into your brain for when you really want to use it. And if you can repeat something enough to the point where you are able to teach it to someone else, that's even better. When I'm learning Japanese, I often find that things that I don't use a lot are the things that I have trouble remembering the most. And so in American English, you say use it or lose it. This just means that once you learn something, go out, try it again and again to make sure that it sticks with you. Learn something new this week? How about go outside and try it as soon as possible to make sure that you have it down. And I'm sure in your native language, there's so many different things that you never think about because you've just repeated them so much time, they've become a second nature, and English is no different. Practice makes perfect is another famous English saying. So whatever you learned this week, how about go outside? If you have the chance, try it out in real life. Practicing something over and over is the best way to get better at it. Next, let's talk about setting realistic goals. So set goals that are realistic for you and then stick with those goals. I know English is difficult and you're not going to become a fluent speaker overnight, but can you commit to 5 to 10 minutes a day of practicing English? Can you find some time to write something down in a journal every day? Can you make it a habit to repeat something that you've learned and try to actually go out in real life and practice it? Just learning a little a day and sticking to your goals will be a big improvement in your English fluency. So when you compare yourself now to a year from now, where do you want to be on your English journey? Figure that out and then set a goal and make it happen. I hope these tips will help you get started on improving your English. If anything has helped you today, how about leave a like down below and then share this video with someone that you think this could also help. If you're interested in learning any other English, how about check out this video I'll leave right here. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See you.